Hey guys, just a quick juice review for me today. Picked up a couple of new and interesting liquids that I wanted to share with you. A couple of them are Mrs. Lord & Co liquids, which are quite big on the vaping scene. This is one of them, the one I'm going to be looking at now, which is Ginger Nut. As you can see, quite different from some of the others I've had, well, all of them, in that actually this is a glass bottle. A nice Victorian or Edwardian, not sure which one I'm thinking of there, ye olde world style labelling, okay, which is really nice. You do of course have the safety information, the warning triangle, and all that hoo-ha. And one nice addition with this is that with your bottles you do get a glass dripper, which is basically a pipette. Now, as you can see, the drops that you get from this pipette are actually pretty big, so when you are dripping this from the glass dripper, just bear in mind that you will need to use less drops than you would from a regular plastic bottle. So this one is Ginger Nut. I have got this in 6mg strength because that's where I'm at. It's a 15ml bottle, £8 on the site, which sounds like a lot, but to be fair, for 15ml isn't too bad. It's kind of what you'd expect. Bear in mind that most bottles you buy of liquid tend to be 10ml, so you are getting that extra 5 in there. And yeah, when you smell this liquid, it absolutely reeks ginger. It doesn't even smell like an e-liquid. E-liquids for me tend to smell very sweet or very creamy, or they tend to have a very distinctive kind of smell, probably from a lot of the flavourings, but this one actually just it just smells purely of ginger, so it doesn't really smell like an e-liquid. It's a lot stronger than the ones I've had. So anyway, I've got this loaded on my MVP2 in my Scar rebuildable dripper. At the moment, when you order from Mrs. Lord, you do get, I've got some of it left here, you do get a piece of Japanese, or a pad of Japanese cotton with your order. I think 15ml bottles you get one pad, and you get 3 pads, I think it is, if you get 50ml or more. You can also buy this cotton from the site itself. Okay, so let's have a go on this. I'm going to put this at, let's check, okay, 9.5 watts, and let's see what it's like. Okay. Something I did forget to mention actually, and it is listed on the back. PG-VG ratio is around 50-50. 30% flavouring, so if you're into DIY, 30% is quite a reasonably high percentage. And yeah, it's an interesting one. On the site it says ginger nut, I mean it's called ginger nut, so it's meant to be ginger nut biscuits. On the site it does say that although ginger nut is the intention, it tastes more like gingerbread. Kind of does. I know one of the popular interpretations for this one is Jamaica ginger cake. It does kind of taste a bit like that, but there isn't really any sweetness. That is an important thing to note with this. It does taste like a very pure, very fresh ginger. It leaves an aftertaste, a kind of zing in your mouth, like you would get from fresh ginger. So yeah, it's something to bear in mind is that it doesn't have that sweetness to it, at least to me. So if you're looking at this as kind of being like a biscuit, I don't really get a biscuit flavour from this. If you're looking at it as being like a ginger cake, just bear in mind that you do get the ginger, quite a strong ginger flavour, but not really much in the way of a cake or the kind of sugar that you would get kind of packed and loaded into a ginger cake. So it is kind of a pure ginger flavour. It's pretty strong. you do have to like ginger for this one. I don't mind ginger. For me it is a bit strong, but it has quite a decent taste. It's grown on me a little bit from when I first tried it. It kind of knocked me back a bit. It's very different to anything else that I've tried, which is a good thing as well. But as you can see, you get plenty of vapour. It's a 50-50 mix, and Mrs. Lord liquids are known for giving off good vapour. I have had this loaded as well in an iClear tank, but I've put it in the dripper because it does give better flavour, I think. Definitely one for the ginger lovers out there. When you do a nose exhale with this, it does kind of knock you back a bit because it is quite strong. Definitely something to bear in mind, the strength of it. It is stronger tasting than a lot of other liquids, and like I said, it is a very pure ginger flavour. So if you like your ginger, or if you love your ginger, chances are you are going to like this a lot. If you are looking for a sweeter, kind of cakey, biscuity ginger, then I personally don't get that from this. It is just like a fresh ginger, and because of that, it's quite an interesting taste. It's quite good as a palate cleanser, kind of if you're going between flavours. However, it certainly for me isn't an all-day vape, just because it's a very strong, very powerful flavour. But yeah, overall, not too bad. It's not something I'm going to be using non-stop, but it is growing on me. I think if you have a go at this, unless you hate it, if you do have a go at this initially and you think, it's a bit weird, do give it a chance, and a day or two later you might find, like I have, that it does kind of grow on you a bit. It does develop, and you kind of like it a bit more. But yeah, for me, it's a decent enough liquid for the ginger lovers out there. And yeah, just bear in mind that it's quite strong and that it's not particularly sweet, and it's quite fresh and quite pungent. And yeah, if that's what you're looking for, then I guess it's perfect for you. Hope that's been useful. I do have another Mrs. Lord liquid that I'm going to review next, so stick with me for that. And yeah, as ever, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, all that business. And yeah, happy vaping.